everyone. We've been here for 3 years. We each have our own ideas about what are the best things about Panama and what are the worst things about Panama. And today we're going to tell you our list after being here for 3 years, what we think is best and what we think is worst about this country. So if this is the kind of content that you like to watch, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to click notify. We usually upload videos every Saturday, but sometimes we have breaking news. So you want to make sure you get notified of that. Don't forget to join the I Go Panama Facebook group, over 30,000 people strong, asking and answering questions about anything and everything Panama every single day. And of course, our website, igopanama.com, with articles and businesses and all kinds of information about moving to Panama and visiting here on vacation. All right, so after the break, the best and worst of Panama. Happy Saturday, everyone. A couple of weeks ago, Brian and I brought you our kind of 3-year wrap up of being in Panama. November marked our 3-year Paniversary. So we did kind of a general overview of all the absolutely insane projects and things we've gone through in the last 3 years.
And succeeded and failed.
And exactly. Fortunately, more success than failure. But usually what we do at the end of every year is a Panama's 5 best, 5 worst things for that year. So we kind of sum up what our ideas are based on our experiences. These may not be your experiences, but based on our experiences and our opinion, these are the 5 best things and 5 worst things from each of us about Panama and living here. We don't talk to each other about these before we say them on camera. So when he says his, it's the first time I'm hearing them. And we also don't go back and review what we've said for the last 2 years, but I will link those videos down below if you kind of want to see the progression of our best and worst list. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. And I'm going to let you go first with your 5 best.
5 best. All right, starting off 5 best, I'm going to have to say Valle.
Yeah, he loves the Valle.
When we discovered that over a year ago, we fell in love with it, and now that we've been here almost a year, building our house, dealing with the community, it's just an awesome place to be.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
We love that.
Yeah, because like what we love, the weather is great.
The weather.
The community is great.
The community, being able to get a pizza.
Pizza's great. Grocery store, great.
Parades about every other day.
Yeah, out of the protest line of fire,
right.
Great. Yeah, so yeah, Alpine is good. I agree with that one. Okay.
All right. Do all 5? Or
yeah, do all 5. No, you go all 5.
All right. And the other one is our new property. We are almost done building the casita, and everything's coming together with it. You know, we've had hiccups here and there, but all in all, it's a great place. It's very tranquilo. It's nice and quiet just outside of the town, so we love that.
No expats.
Yeah. I really appreciate our network of people that we have discovered, from Stephanie to Gloria, you know, to Maria, you know, that actually put us in touch with our contractor that helped me build the house, Ricardo. So I'm very happy with that and very grateful for our network of contacts that put everybody in touch with good people. And I'd have to say my circle of friends here. You know, I've got a lot of Panamanian friends that I do jiu-jitsu with, so we were walking down the street yesterday and, you know, 3 of them are, you know, it's like, Brian! So, it's like, who are these people?
Yeah, it used to be I would go out, I don't go out too much anymore, but I would go out and everyone would recognize me from the videos. Now Brian goes out and everybody's like, oh, Brian, they're high-fiving and hand-slapping and blah, blah. It's like, okay, I don't even know who this person is. This one, I don't even know who he is. Okay.
No, it's just a good group of people in this town, you know. It's very calm and there's not a lot of hassle, and we like it all.
Okay.
And the few good expats that we know here.
Yeah.
Really good people.
Yep.
And then I would just say our network of resources. You know, anytime we need to do something, we're able to figure out who to find, who's the best, who's reliable.
Dogs. Stop.
Who wants to take dogs.
I expect the tripod to be hit at any
Yeah.
point during this. Yeah.
That's my 5 best.
That's your 5 best. Okay. And I think, well, I'll talk about the networking in mine as far as that definitely has evolved over
Right.
the years. Okay. So my 5 best, I think by year 3, we have now settled into the country and we understand how things work. I mean, if you know anything about me, you know I do a ton of research on everything. So I had a pretty good idea of how things worked when we got here. But you don't know what you don't know. And you don't know a lot, no matter how much you've researched. So over the past 3 years, we've really kind of settled into the country. We understand a lot better how different things work. And I mean, that can be things from, you know, ordering supplies we need to finding the people we need for the right job to all of these different things. There goes the tripod. So yeah, just being able to settle in and have a better understanding. And so then you're not floundering all of the time. You know, you're like, oh, I need this. Okay, here's what I have to do. And there's more of a comfortability factor, I think, as well. I think I think the first 2 years you kind of still have those like excited, you know, rose-colored glasses kind of thing on. While my rose-colored glasses were pretty clear, and I joke that a lot of people come here and their rose-colored glasses are so dark they're blind. I mean, ours were pretty clear, but I think a lot of that in those first couple of years really wears off. So year 3, you really see Panama for what it is, and you can kind of settle in for what it is and not do so much, well, back in the United States and comparing it to here. Whereas you still do that. I mean, that's just natural. But okay, number 2, it goes exactly what he said. Being able to find a tribe of good people, both for friendships and for networking. So we're talking about both individuals and professionals. And most of those professionals are our friends too,
Right.
so they kind of cross over. But I think he's a lot more extroverted than I am. So he'll go out and make friends with everyone. I'm very introverted and not the type to go out and socialize and that sort of thing. So I'm very, very picky with the people that I do hang around. And even those people I don't hang around that much. But it's finding those good people. Because believe me, I found people that I thought were my friends, and then they ended up not being my friends. That's the same anywhere, right? And that goes both expat and Panamanian. But I think being able to expand our friend circle into like this international conglomerate almost of people, especially expats. I mean, we don't really hang around a lot of Americans.
No.
I can think of like one American friend, Kathy.
Alana. Or they're Canadian.
No, they're Canadian.
They're Canadian.
Yeah, so we have Canadians, we have French, Israeli. Yeah. So being able to kind of expand your friend circle, which for me, having one more friend would be expansion, but being able to expand a friend circle and get different perspectives from people all over the world rather than just people who are in your normal little bubble, that I find pretty interesting. And again, I think those first couple of years, it's like anyone who looks like you, talks like you, thinks like you kind of gravitate toward. And then as you've been here longer, you tend to expand that mindset and expand your friend network and expand your professional network. You know, we started out with one attorney who was great for what we needed then, but then as things changed, we needed to expand into another attorney, in fact, 2 other attorneys. And so those people have become friends and they are professionals. And like he mentioned, Stephanie, who does all of our car stuff, she's a great friend now as well. So yeah, and I've got some of the tour guides on I Go Panama that I've become friends with. So yeah, it's a little different than it was the first couple of years. My third best is discovering the culture. I think the first 2 years we were so caught up in dealing with Bocas
Right.
and getting Bocas built up and handling all of that and me being sick, that we didn't get out and do a lot of exploration of Panama. But this last year, year 3, we did a lot of exploration. We attended the largest artisan crafts fair in Panama City. We attended the Mejorana Festival in Las Tablas with Panamanians. Those people are crazy, I'm just saying. Adela. Yeah, we've gone to like local parades. We've done a lot more getting involved with local culture, which again I think speaks to that first couple of years you're not exactly in your comfort zone, so going outside of your little known world is a little more difficult, but the longer you've been here, the easier it is to start expanding that bubble. Let's see, my 4th one is healthcare. Like I just mentioned, I was sick.
Right.
Now I did, last year when we did our best and worst, I was just about getting ready to go into surgery
Right.
when we did it. So I just have to say that I had my surgery. It was absolutely phenomenal, above and beyond what I expected. There are videos in our video list about the whole surgery thing. But the medical professionals here they're not like in the United States where they're not so in tune with you, where it's more like just a conveyor belt of get you in, put a prescription in your hand, whether it works or not, and get you out the door so the next person can come in. It's more of a personal interaction with your physician, and I really felt all along that they had my best interest at heart and what was going to be best for me and my situation, and the pricing was right as well. So, I mean, honestly, if I had healthcare issues, I would prefer to do them here in Panama than I would in the States. Okay, and then 5th is just, again, I think it's a little bit of getting out of that kind of comfort bubble, but being able to help the community, being able to give back in some significant ways. So what we've done over the last 3 years, I guess somewhere around year 2, we started our Indigenous Women's Economic Empowerment Project, where we take the bags that they make, the traditional bags they make, and then I've given the women an outlet to be able to sell those bags online, and they get 100% of the profit. Everything that I do on my end is for free. So sorting the bags, labeling the bags, putting the bags online, all of that sort of stuff, him carrying the bags to the US, doing all the emails, yeah, all that we just do for free. The women get 100% of their asking price for the bags. And I'm excited to say that over the last, I mean, it hasn't even been 3 years, but over the last a little over 2, probably not even quite 2 maybe, we've raised over $25,000 for a very small indigenous village in Bocas del Toro. So that kind of thing does my heart good. On top of that, this past year I started the first nationwide blood donor database for the country of Panama. I'm going to be doing a video about this maybe in a few weeks, but the blood database has been up for a few months, and basically what it is we compile a list of donors, so people who are interested in donating blood. We get their blood type and the provinces where they're interested in donating to, because maybe if you live in Bocas, you're not going to go donate in Panama province, right? So we have that information compiled, and then when people fill out the form that they need blood, I then go through the database, I find the blood types that match that recipients need and the province where they are, and send out emails to all of the donors in the database so we can match them up directly together. And in the last, less than 2 months, we have helped 2 people and matching them with blood. Blood is a huge problem here in Panama, and again, I'll discuss that in another video, or if you go to the I Go Panama website, there's information there. But being able to match people in need with people who have the blood they need, that's really good. And again, that's a 100% free kind of project. And then during the protests, Dog Camp Boquete, as you can hear the dogs saying yay, yay, Mary, the Dog Camp Boquete, they had about 70 dogs on their property, and because it was very difficult for them to get dog food, and the dog food prices had gone up. Through I Go Panama, we raised almost $5,000 for them in just a few days to really help them out. So being able to use this platform to help the country, I think that's definitely probably one of the bright spots in my entire Panama experience, is just being able to do that. All right, now that we've said the good, let's go to the bad, because that's what everyone always wants to hear. Okay, what do you
So
got?
I got to start again?
Yeah, you gotta start again. I finish up because I do all the talking.
All right. I mean, the obvious one, you know, the elephant in the room, protests, and how much they disrupt everybody's lives, and just dealing with it. You know, luckily we were here in Valle, we were pretty insulated, and you almost didn't even know it was happening, other than, you know, missing a few greens, you know, some lettuce or whatever, broccoli off of the shelves. Other than that, really fun. But, you know, just watching it tear up the country from the inside out was very disheartening. So we didn't like that. Permitting.
Oh God.
Getting permits in Panama has proven to be more difficult than actually construction.
Way more difficult.
Yeah, we're on 10 months of the permit process, and we've already built our casino. It's ready to move in. So it's what one of the my architect friend that's helping me with the permits. Basically, his metaphor was the permit office here, Municipal, Bombero, Aviante, whoever it is. Just like he goes, they always put stones in the road to slow your process, you know. So I don't know how that translates to Spanish, but
Yeah.
it's a thing. Once again, drivers. That's always my, you know, I'm the one that's doing all the driving back and forth, and it's just middle of the road, no signals.
Stopping in the middle of the road.
You know, when you get to a right-of-way corner, it's basically who has the, I want to say largest huevos. It's who gives first. So it's just irritating, but you know, I've been in other countries, it's just as bad too. So it's something I have to deal with. Rumor mills. The rumor mills and the spiteful expats. So we've had to deal a lot with that, you know, especially since the protests, and it's very irritating and disheartening how some people get so hyper-focused on something that's really not even their problem or
Their business.
their business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's 4.
just 4. I just had another one. Go with yours.
Okay. All right. So here are my 5 worst. All right. So, I mean, he and I are in line on a lot of these. The protests. And again, we were in El Valle. And look, it hasn't just been a protest. We had protests in 2022 that lasted for 3 weeks. We had protests in 2023 that lasted for 6 weeks. And it looks like they're gearing up for some more protests
Well, and
here
then, you
soon.
know, we started off in Buckus where there were protests almost every week.
All the time. So here in El Valle, it doesn't really affect us too much, except for just like peace of mind. Like, you know, if I want to go somewhere, I just want to get in the car and go. I don't want to have to worry about what road is closed, because this group is illegally shutting down the road, because it is illegal to close the roads in Panama. It's against the Constitution, whether you like that statement or not. So yeah, it's very disheartening. Dogs are tromping through the leaves, and to see the lack of government response to it is also very disheartening. The next one on my list is shady business dealings. We did not really deal with this too much the first couple of years, but we were also in Bocas, and we were also very self-sufficient, and we weren't trying to build a house. You know, we are going to be in the middle of a lawsuit for a guy who we paid many thousands of dollars to that did not complete the
his
job. You know, we've had an electrician that, fortunately not thousands, but still it's money, that did not do what he said he was going to do. We've had people build things that were not to quality and basically had to junk it, and so we're out that money, and they don't care. It's like once they have your money, they don't care. So what I've learned is that there is a lot of shady business dealings going on in Panama. Just because someone smiles at you and is friendly does not mean that they're not out to get you. And just because they give you a contract does not mean that that contract is valid. Do not enter into any contract in Panama unless you have an attorney look it over, period, end of discussion. You will save yourself a lot of money by paying that attorney $100 or $200 to look that contract over. Take it from me. Okay, because they'll give you fake contracts, which is what we've dealt with. All right, number 3 for me is the infrastructure issue, which again, years 1 and 2 in Bocas, we didn't have to deal with because we're very self-sufficient in Bocas. You know, moving from the States to an off-grid property in the middle of the jungle, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I can tell you what I did get. I had electricity all the time. We have solar, and if the sun isn't shining for some whatever reason, we have a generator backup. So we always have electricity. We have a well on our property in Bocas. You turn on the water comes out as long as you remember to fill the tanks. So it was never an issue. Oh my gosh, moving on grid, it's just a constant frustration. Electricity is out frequently. Water is out frequently. And in addition to utility infrastructure, and this goes for Bocas as well, the road infrastructure is el crapola here. Okay, so infrastructure, our video infrastructure needs some work too. Our video completely cut out. So anyway, I was talking about the roads, and basically they'll fix a road and then it'll be back to crap in like a month or 2 because they don't fix them properly. So it's just this never-ending cycle of just crap roads. So that's a little bit frustrating. Okay, then my next one for worst. Wait, what happened?
Infrastructure.
It got deleted out of here. What is going on? What is going on?
Okay, you had products.
Oh yeah, product quality was my 4th one. Everything here, it seems like, and I know you can't say everything about everything, but many products here are third-rate Chinese junk that they sell for first-rate prices. They will slap labels that you recognize of brand names onto products that company doesn't even make those. Like you find that a lot.
Yeah. Ford screwdrivers, Ducati weed whackers.
Yeah, so that you can kind of be up on, but even just getting a regular product of whatever it might be, I mean, can openers is the infamous, like, the infamous example.
The Expats' bane of existence.
Exactly. Like, everything is junk, honestly. It's junk. So we find that we will spend, and we're not even spending more money, but we'll spend more money to ship something in from the States because we know what we're getting and we know that we're getting good quality, rather than buy 3 of them here in Panama that are of crap quality and end up being more expensive, and you have to end up getting something from the States anyway to replace it. So, I mean, that's going to go mainly for people like us who are like building houses and constantly doing projects. I mean, if you're just living day-to-day life, you can probably get by. But yeah, the product quality here is bad. And I would rather put my money in the Panamanian economy, but I'm not going to put it in the Panamanian economy just to be propping up the Panamanian economy. Not if they're going to choose to sell crap junk. So that's just kind of what that is. And then my 4th one goes back to something, my 5th one goes back to something that Brian talked about as well, and that is the definite minority, but very loud minority of miserable, whining, bitchy, bitter, vindictive, petty, juvenile, bully expats. I have never seen such behavior from adults in all of my life. There are people here who are just absolutely miserable people, or miserable that they're in Panama, and they spend their days tearing down other people, creating rumors, bullying people, making rude remarks. You'll see it online a lot. because I don't think most of these people have the courage to ever do that to someone's face. What you're saying about the Mike Tyson saying?
Mike Tyson quote, it's just like, the internet has made everybody comfortable with disrespecting people without getting punched in the face.
Yeah, because you can do it from behind your little keyboard warrior screen, right? So there is a lot of that here. And I will also say that there have been people, I mean, we've found our little tribe of good people, but there have been people that I really thought were my friends and ended up not being my friends. And that happens everywhere, obviously. But I just want people to kind of be aware that just because someone is nice to you and smiles at you and is friendly to you and says the right things and maybe looks like you and talks like you, doesn't mean that they're necessarily a friend of yours. So you do have to kind of be on the lookout for that. There's a lot of expats that scam other expats. There are a lot of expats that bully other expats and cause trouble. And I mean, it's just sad. It's sad to see that adults will behave that way, but it happens. I mean, I teach children, and the children I teach, I don't think they would ever act like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird phenomenon here with these expats, and
It's everywhere.
I guess it's everywhere, and I guess maybe we see it more because we're online and have such an online presence. But I find it sad. So you just you have to be aware of that at all times.
I mean, it just goes to show, we've built up a really good Facebook group, and that's because people are tired of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why our Facebook group is like the largest and most active, because I don't put up with that crap in our Facebook group, and I remove those people.
Yeah, and people appreciate it.
Yeah, and then of course when I remove those people, then I become a target of those people, right? So yeah, that just is what it is. All right, so that was our 5 best and 5 worst. And so if you stick around for another year, you'll get another one of these eventually. And yeah, until then, I don't even know. I'm out of things to say.
Yep.
It throws me off when our videos mess up and I have to come back and redo everything. All right, we'll see you next week, guys.